So, hello again everyone, welcome back to the World Racing League here on YouTube, coming to you live from Autodromo Lago Maggiore, the east layout here in Italy. Going to be some fantastic racing action in this Group 4 cars. I, as per usual, am Nuke Shot Zokyo here once again on commentary duty. Apologies for the lack of rounds 3 through 5. That was mainly due to me being ill, and I don't think they managed to get a substitute commentator in for any of those, but nevertheless I'm here for this one. So we've seen quite a development in the championship at this stage. We're now at round 6, of course. The drivers starting to finally get to grips and feel for who are the fastest and the strongest in this series and such. Of course, me, as per usual, going to be a bit clueless in that regard. Currently, at the top of the timing sheets though, it's one of the Citroens in the, I think it was Team Scotland or something along those lines anyway, of RPM. They're currently setting a 123.370. This is just the practice session, I should say. So the race will be hopefully getting underway, or the qualifying rather, should be in around 7 minutes, and the race shortly after that. Just quickly have a check of the settings. It's going to be 10 minutes for qualifying here today, and 22 laps for the race. Here you can see some of the cars that are being entered. Nice variety of Group 4 machines, as we saw in the previous races. So both of the Citroens looking very competitive, as we saw at Spa-Francorchamps. Olki currently sits in second place, and it's actually a Hobbsy with the third fastest time at this point, although some cars may or may not be in the pit lane, which would be messing up the timing sheets. Tombach, there you see them in fourth in that Lamborghini. I don't recall seeing them before. Got a TSR sponsored Lamborghini. I don't think it's the TSR I'm particularly familiar with. The logo is quite different from Team Sim Racing. Tazio, they were very impressive at the race at Spa-Francorchamps, I remember, so they could be one to watch here again. Of course, Italian at home circuit in Italy. Quite a lot of Italian entrants. Here's one of the almost AF Corsa styled liveries for A-Team Ghost. Top of the Ferraris at this stage. The teammate Leinard only a 10th behind, so the Ferrari's quite equal on pace in terms of the teammates. That's interesting to note. See if that carries through to qualifying. Real Scorpions, we saw the Porsches not do too well at the last round that was broadcasted. However, they're not doing overly bad at the moment, although saying that they are still 2.4 seconds off the pace, but they are not at the back of the timing sheet anyway. We've got Basalvo. Again, apologies if I'm pronouncing all these wrong, but I am going to try and do my best. So they are in one of the Veyrons, so they would appear to be drafted out. Who was... It was a Rappi the Pro, I think, was in one of the Bugattis beforehand, but he's not here, so perhaps a substitute, perhaps a replacement for the rest of the season. Here's Maru. We saw them at the Spa-Francorchamps race as well. Didn't particularly have a good race. They'll be hoping for a much better result. Getting in quite a scrap at the moment as they're making their way down the hill towards the triple apex. Look at this fantastic scene, so we've not even got to qualifying, let alone the race. Bit of contact as the Bugatti goes off to the inside, and Tombok on the grass. Good thing that Lamborghini has four-wheel drive. Of course, the last race we had was in the rain as well, so dry conditions could lead for a different outcome, surely will. Racing Pro, they're currently in 11th, Tazio's teammate. So Tazio able to get a fair bit more out of the car at this particular stage. Iverslov, there they are in that Honda NSX. The Flying Dutchman making their way through the triple apex. We're hoping to get a little bit more pace later in the session, and here's Heisenberger. So Heisenberger, it says, only 12 thousandths slower than the fastest time, which was set by RPM, so Heisenberger looking quite strong. Of course, they're just trying to manage the lobby, series organizer of course. Hope you are all enjoying the stream so far. Qualifying will be underway in around 2 minutes or so. Already up to 5 viewers on stream, and I haven't even notified any of the Nuke Shot lads or anyone else of this, so nice to see you guys joining along. If you are enjoying, of course, feel free to leave a like if you wish. It helps spread the channel out to further afield. Let's just see if we can find some battles going on at the moment. Here we are on board with Tombok going down the inside of one of the Bugattis, and Maru in the wall. It looks like Tombok is going to go into the pits. Haven't got damage. Of course, fuel and tyre wear will come into this. I don't think TSR changed the logo. Maybe they did, I don't know. Unless it is just two different sim racing teams that happen to have the same name. Molky is currently top of the timing sheet, so they actually went faster. They're currently 3/10 faster than anyone else. Citroen's looking extremely competitive. They're looking very strong to take the team's championship, I would imagine. Of course, the Bugatti's going to be up there as well, and possibly even the Lamborghinis. Qualifier is about to get underway, so action shall be brought to you shortly. I just have a bit of a drink. So here they go, leaving the pits, and it's going to be RPM, I think. Yep, leading us off. We're gonna have an onboard lap once they make their way around for the first time. At the moment, they're just going to try and space themselves out in such a way that they're going to have clear air. Tombok, good strategy by them, and I think that might be Heisenberger as well. Just staying in the pits. There's no real need to head out yet. It wasn't Heisenberger, it was the other Bugatti of... who was it? Was it Basalvo? Yep. As there seems to be a bit of mayhem going on at the triple apex. I think someone has gone off onto the grass. RPM, interesting one. The Citroen's going quite far back in the pack at this point. It's a fantastic circuit, I have to say, is this east layout. Of course, misses out on Spagbold corner, but Nevertheless, good layout. Here we are going on board with A-Team Ghost, who has actually managed to get into the head of the pack as Mulkey dropped down to 4th. So here is the lap of the circuit, braking down towards turn 1. It's a very tight and technical opening set of corners. Very much relies on mechanical grip through here. Then it starts to speed up again as we head towards turn 3. You need to keep it as close to the left as you can so you have a better run through turn 4 onto that straight. Down the hill, trying to get a little bit of momentum from that. A lot of elevation changes here at the Lago Maggiore circuit. Having to use a little bit of trail braking as you're making your way through the corner, which has 3 apexes on the track map. Only make 2 when driving through the S's. Here we go. Fantastic section of the circuit. Such flow. The racing soft tyres serving A-Team Ghost very well through here. These Group 4 cars can go on the throttle quite well. And then the unique corner for this particular cutout layout of the East circuit, this hairpin, you can see some overtaking opportunities through there and down the hill, and will complete a lap. What is the time going to be? It looks like Tazio might be able to go faster than them. They seem to have caught up a bit. It's a 124 and it's a 123.8 for Tazio, as I thought. Heisenberg a 124.1, Mulkey a 125.1. So not a good lap for Mulkey. Ivaslov a 127.5, 128.1 for Hobbsy. Racing probably 135. What happened to them on that lap? Lionard with a 125.9, 125.6 for Maru. Tombuck with a 123.9, and RPM goes fastest of anybody. That's a 123.5. Impressive time by them. And I think that's everyone completed their first lap. So it's RPM, Tazio, and Tombuck. So we saw, I think it was, can't quite remember his name. I think it was a Dutchman who was, as we see, a lot of tyre smoke going through the triple apex. But it was someone else who actually did really well in the Lamborghini. Tombuck also seeming to be very experienced with the car. It would seem currently third. The top 3 separated by less than 4/10 of a second, as we're about to see some of the guys come across the line. Again, Tazio goes into the pits. It's an improvement for A-Team Ghost. That puts them up to 5th. That's a 124.6 for the Ferrari. Still a bit of time in the session. Ivaslov improves, as does Hobbsy. So Hobbsy up to 7th, Ivaslov there in 11th. Racing Pro, they are still in 12th, but they improve their time. Real Scorpions improve their time as well, not by too much, around 4 or 5/10 or so, as Maru also was in the pits there. Currently watching Tazio in that Alfa Romeo. Should be very quick through this upcoming section. Basalvo in one of the Bugattis managing a 131.6, so nowhere near as fast as their teammate at this point. We'll be hoping to get a bit of a better lap in the closing section of this qualifying session. Many arrows pointing you the right way in case you forget. As A-Team Ghost goes into the pits, will Tazio be able to set a decent lap on this upcoming one? Of course, it is their out lap. And make their way across. There you see the Ferrari coming out the pits, so Tazio will have clear air. It might have unsettled him a bit though as he went across, as Mulkey sets the new fastest time in that Citroen. It's a Citroen 1-2. Just as it was in the practice session, they're trying to go down the inside of Ivaslov. Racing Pro improves their time to a 1:30. Where does that put them? I think they're still in 12th. Yep. They've got 3.3 seconds to catch up as they're side by side with RPM at the moment. They're getting blue flags, I think. As you can see at the marshal posts. Running a little bit wide. Don't want to do that too often. Might get a penalty as Basalvo improves their time. That's a 1:26. I think that might put them... I'm not sure, but Maru goes off. So that would ruin this attempt of a lap. You should still be able to get at least 2 more runs in. Just be hoping that the tyres hold up after that. Basalvo 11th was what I checked, and someone has gone off, or did go off. It almost seemed like they reset. I couldn't quite find out who that was. My apologies. As Mulkey into pits. I think someone else followed them. Yeah, both Citroens in, so they stick to a similar strategy. No one improving at this stage. Will Lamborghini? It will indeed. Hobbsy also improving their time. Tombach 4th. Needs to get just a little bit more time if he's going to overtake Tazio. They should be able to get 2 laps in from here. Cars pretty much spread out throughout the entirety of the circuit at this stage. Currently watching A-Team Ghost go through the S's. They were the first to set a lap, if you recall. Currently down in 6th. Well, they have been looking quick. They might have actually had a bit of slipstream from Tazio as someone gets it wrong out of turn 2. Again, not sure who it was. Tazio does improve. Actually, so Tazio up to 3rd. And A-Team Ghost improves as well, but they stay in 6th. Have less than a minute to go in the session as there's still quite a bit of chaos going off. I'm trying to see if I can find people. Tombach improves. That's a 1:23.9. Real Scorpions with a 1:26.0, and Racing Pro currently down in last as Ivaslov managed to set a faster time earlier. Heisenberger with a 1:23.942. As there's a spin, and that is Racing Pro in the middle of the S's, right as their teammate goes past Basalvo with a 1:26.199. And I don't quite think Tazio's going to be able to get onto another lap here, so they're going to be the first to reach the checkered flag in this session. Will it be an improvement, or will they have to settle for 3rd? It's going to be close. I think it's going to have to be settled for 3rd for Tazio on this occasion. A-Team Ghost about to come across the line. No improvement for them. Whereas some of the others, Tombach has a penalty. That's the session pretty much done. RPM going through the S's. Mulkey improves further with the 1:23.253. That is an immense time from the Brit. Or the Scot, probably, based on team. It doesn't look like we're going to see that many more improvements. Never mind, Heisenberger manages to get in to 4th, just pipping Tombach off of the 2nd row with a 1:23.884. They'll be happy with that. Though perhaps not too happy with the pace of the Citroens in comparison to them. Citroens seeming to be just that bit quicker than everyone, it would seem, at the moment. Basalvo, they are in 10th, so not too good of a session if you're comparing them to their teammate, but nevertheless, top 10. That concludes qualifying, and we're about to get into the race here. Again, if you are enjoying the stream, feel free to leave a like if you wish. Here is the grid. Top 2, of course, the Scottish Citroens. There you see them. Tazio in 3rd, Heisenberger 4th, and Tombok in 5th. It's going to be a rolling start here, 22 laps as we mentioned earlier in the program. Monkey will be leading them off down the hill. Some of them might actually start halfway around the hairpin, so you need to be watching out for that. And it's green, 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 and the cars are off. Everyone slots into the slipstream. It looks like Monkey will go pretty much unchallenged into turn 1. Heisenberger looking a bit close to Tazio, as the Alpha 4C does lack a bit of horsepower, trying his best to get a bit of a jump. As A-Team Ghost and Hobbsy also getting a smidge close for comfort at the moment. Fantastic stuff. Just look at these cars making their way round. No overtakes as of yet, still pretty much single file. So a very clean start, as we're actually seeing side-by-side liner going down the inside of Maru. Oh, is that a little bit of a lock-up and down the inside? And to the outside as well, extremely unstable it would seem. They do have ABS on, but it almost looked like that car locked up for a second. Going back to the front, it is still Mulkey from RPM, Tazio and Heisenberger. The top 4 starting to break away a bit from Tombok. Into the hairpin they go, and that was a massive lunge, it almost looked like, from Tazio. Bit wide from Mulkey. RPM going into the pits. They haven't got damage. That's a bit of an odd strategy. Maybe they're trying to just get out of the pack or something, as Heisenberger goes down the inside of Tazio and manages to make that move stick. Goes on the grass though. Will Tazio be able to come back at them? It's going to be difficult for them. I think there's some more overtaking further down the order, as we're actually seeing it become a 3-way scrap. So Mulkey pretty much just driving off into the sunset at this point. A little bit at the moment, as Tazio back down the inside, and this scrapping is allowing Tombok to come back into this in the Lamborghini. RPM meanwhile in that Citroen rejoined in 7th. Fantastic racing. We're going to go on board with Tombok if we can. Here we are, making their way through the S's. Heisenberg with the superior horsepower, Tazio with the better brakes, with the car being lighter, sparks being thrown up over the curb as Tazio goes very wide and over the grass. Tombok gonna try and have a run. It's gonna be difficult. That Bugatti Veyron very strong in a straight line, as there seems to have been an incident involving Maru or something, as Heisenberger down the inside again of Tazio, and Tombok thinking about making it 3 wide, decides better of it. A-Team Ghost and that Ferrari also coming back into this as well. Look at it, this is a fantastic battle. Tazio again coming back at the Bugatti. There's a conga line of cars making their way down towards the triple apex. As that was Tazio losing out a couple positions, and A-Team Ghost as well. What has happened to Tazio? They've been absolutely mugged. Meanwhile, RPM managed to gain a position on Hobbsy earlier, and now they're on the back of Tazio as well. Has Tazio got damage? No. So Tazio just really struggling at this point. Even RPM's managed to overtake them around the outside. They're lacking pace or something, although they managed to get that one back, and there's contact. RPM onto the grass. Gonna have a look a little bit further back, check on some of these other battles that have been going on, as it seemed there was a massive kerfuffle at the back here. What happened between these guys? It almost seemed like someone got sent into the wall, or was there smoke? No, perhaps it was just the camera playing up. My apologies for getting that one wrong, Chief. A bit further up the order, we're seeing scraps continue. A-Team Ghost and Tazio in a bit of a duel, swapping 4th and 5th, and also Tombok and Heisenberger in a scrap of their own. A-Team Ghost relinquishing position. The tyres on that Ferrari on the front really wearing out quite quick. And now they've got to worry about RPM, who's on the back of them. Now RPM's strategy could actually work out really well for them, as we're seeing Tombok down the inside. No, can't quite get it done. Meanwhile, look at this, RPM down the inside of the Ferrari. Ferrari gets the Max Verstappen cutback, and it's going to be status quo again. Will the Lamborghini be able to do anything into turn 1? No, look how close Tombok is getting to the rear bumper of Heisenberger. Extremely impressive driving, has to be said. Meanwhile, Mulkey is indeed just driving off into the distance at this point. Of course, I believe everyone has to make a pit stop during this race. RPM has in fact managed to get ahead of A-Team Ghost again. We're going to see if we can catch that one on replay. Was it just round the outside, or was it a cutback? It seemed to be a cutback move. Cutbacks seem to work quite nicely at Lago Maggiore, especially this east layout. So that puts RPM in some clear air. He's going to be trying his best to catch up to Tazio in 4th. You can still see them up ahead. So he's really actually playing this out quite well. Hobbsy, you also saw there in the back in 7th. They're all very nearly down the inside of A-Team Ghost. Oh, that NSX seem to have a really good exit onto the straight. They're going to have the slipstream as well, I think, from the Citroen ahead. And I think they might have the position before the corner. A-Team Ghost is going to have to be very late on the brakes. There seems to be a little bit of contact. It's going to be the inside for Hobbsy, and I think that is going to put the NSX firmly up to 6th. Indeed, that is the case. Tombok still trying to chase down Heisenberger. Hasn't got past yet. Tazio also very, very close and behind. These three sticking together at the moment. They also saw RPM, who's already made a pit stop. Strange to do it so early, but nevertheless, someone also in pits at the moment. That's Maru. Gonna go for the rear wing cam on Heisenberger. Oh, bit of contact between the two there. Bit of rubbing, but Lamborghini still manages to just about find its way around the outside. It runs a little bit wide, I think. Heisenberger leaves the space, doesn't run them off the road, and that is Tombok up a position. There you see Tazio's Alfa Romeo is being left for dead at the moment. And down the inside, Heisenberger goes again. Does he run a bit deep? Seems like he does, and Tombok is going to try and hang it around the outside of turn 2. As they're 3 wide just about for a split second. As Tazio is going to try down the inside of Tombok and just about manages to get it to work. Tazio has really been finding turn 4 to be a really strong corner for them in terms of making overtakes. But look at this, Tombok gonna come back at them, I think. RPM has managed to catch up tremendously well. I say that, and they've ran wide, and they very nearly spin out on the grass, well held by them. So the three-way battle has become a four-way battle. Meanwhile, just going to check the gap between Heisenberger and Mulkey. First to second, 8.2 seconds at this point. The Alfa Romeo trying to use its superior brakes to go down the inside, does so. Fantastic overtake there by Tazio. And Tombok is also going to try and take advantage as well. But then again, the straights, it's where the Bugatti is at its best. They're going to try and outbrake them down the inside. Heisenberger just about manages to get up, and there's contact, and that's Tazio somehow not going off into the grass. More contact between them. Tombok does go on the grass, 3 wide. 2 by 2. Extremely close stuff. Tombok trying to go around the outside, 3 wide mid-apex. Heisenberger just about holds on, should hold on again on the straight, but RPM has managed to benefit tremendously well. They're up to 4th. They're going to try and send it for 3rd. Down the inside, 3 wide again. And RPM has managed to get back up to 2nd. Fantastic stuff. Tazio down to 5th. Although they're looking quite strong to have another run at it as they're making their way through the S's. We're going to go on board with Tazio. Oh, the Bugatti runs wide. Can't quite carry the speed through the corners, the high speed corners anyway, with the amount of momentum and weight that it has. That's the balance as we're seeing the Alpha try and go down the inside. A little bit of contact, nothing too major. Oh, kick of oversteer from Tombok and RPM. As it seems Tazio is being left behind a smidge. Still really close stuff. As there's also a close battle here for 6th between Hobbsy and A-Team Ghost. So these two are also closing up ahead. Surely we're not going to have a 6-car battle. That would be insanity. Heisenberger down to 4th. Tombok does indeed manage to get past Tazio. Going to try the inside, it looked like. Didn't get it done in the end. A bit further down the order we're seeing further battles. There's battles throughout the order. It's Ivaslov, Bolsalvo and Real Scorpions, so nice to see more the Porsches getting involved in a bit of a scrap. Ivaslov in the Honda and Bolsalvo in the Bugatti. As the Porsche seems to have closed up quite nicely, but I don't quite think it's going to have the straight line of the Honda. As Tazio has got ahead of Heisenberger meanwhile. So, interesting developments. Maybe the tyres. Oh, definitely the tyres. Shot on the Bugatti. Let's compare that to the Alfa Romeo. Look at the difference. That is shocking. Neither of them have made their pit stops yet, I should say. They're on the same compound. That is purely just the Bugatti's weight. It has the straight line potential, but so much weight that it just keeps on understeering in the corners. And there you see Heisenberger really dropping back in these stages. Has lost the slipstream range and is surely going to come under attack from these two if they start gaining on him, which they do appear to be from the split. A-Team Ghost leading Hobbsy gotta think, Heisenberger, will they go into the pits this time? I certainly would. Was that someone who made a mistake up ahead? Or I think that might just be blue flags. Heisenberger does indeed go into the pits, as does Hobbsy and A-Team Ghost, so perhaps they're thinking of an undercut to catch up to RPM, Tombok and Tazio up ahead. Here you see Mulkey. We haven't seen a lot of them, but that's because they've been 11 seconds up the road. You can see an Alfa Romeo in the background. I believe that's the lap car of Racing Pro. Cars coming out the pits. It's absolute mayhem. The salvo there, and that's Real Scorpions off into the wall. Did they pick up damage? Doesn't seem like it. We're going to have a replay of this. What happened to them? They just outbrake themselves. It seemed like it. They avoided the wall, so fair play to them for that. They rejoined the circuit as safe as they could. So both the Hondas coming under attack from the Bugatti here, as Mulkey goes into the pits. Down the inside goes Basalvo, side by side through the S's, never a good idea. Bit of contact, and that's actually turned out worse for Basalvo. Looked like a racing incident to me, with Basalvo perhaps also struggling with the tyre wear issues. Not to the extent that their teammate was. To be fair, they're coming under attack from Real Scorpions now, who made a mistake at turn 1 to that lap. Bit too far back at this point. Tazio actually has managed to get ahead of RPM. When did that happen? Was it recent? It must have been on the pit stops. So, great pit stop for the Alfa Romeo crew. Gonna have to see, was it a lack of fueling up? Yep, you can see the difference in fuel. So will Tazio be able to get to the end of the race on that amount of fuel, or will they have to be doing a bit of fuel saving and then perhaps just see if they can hold up the cars behind? But fuel saving in the Alfa Romeo, it's already not that great in a straight line as it is. So that could come back to bite them in the end. Penalty for RPM, that is for corner cutting. Just once too often, I think, extending track limits. That'll go away throughout the duration of this race, without a doubt. Tombok, there you see them in 4th at the moment. Tazio into the pits. I think they realized that they don't have enough fuel to get to the end, so they're making another stop. So that's a disastrous set of circumstances for the Alfa Romeo of Tazio. Where's that put them? That drops them down to 6th. So what I thought was just a really good pit stop for the Alfa Romeo crew turned out to be the opposite. Not fueling enough when they should have. Also, they changed tyres again, so that would have cost them a bit of time. If they didn't, then they would have come out ahead of A-Team Ghost, I think. Of course, those tyres were just 1 lap old as well, so interesting to note. RPM still with penalty. They wouldn't serve it all in one chunk, because that would potentially let Tombok back into better slipstream range. So they're just going to let that play out. Still a lot of race to go. We're past the halfway distance. AC Tazio in 6th. They're going to be trying to catch up. Hobbsy in 7th. They're actually on the mediums. So they're going to be trying to go for better tyre life towards the end of this race. Real Scorpions down in 9th at the moment. Iverslov, the other Honda, in 8th. Basalvo, I believe they qualified 10th and they're pretty much stuck there. on a bit of an island at the moment. Not too many cars around this section of the circuit at this point. Liner in the other AF Corsa styled Ferrari, they're down in 11th at the moment. Maru, who based on the chat earlier had a bit of an incident, apologies that we didn't quite catch that one, but they're soldiering on in 12th at the moment. It seems that blue flags automatically ghost the lapped cars, so that's a nice little feature that we've got going on. And Racing Pro with a 0.5 second penalty for track limits. Again, Heisenberger has one as well, actually, in the back there you saw. They're a minute and 42 off of Mulkey, so that's pretty much a lap. Or more than a lap, I suppose you could say, because they're being lapped by 4th now. Things seem to have settled down a little bit. There you see Heisenberger making the way past that Alfa Romeo. Tazio has managed to get past A-Team Ghost. I'll see if I can find that. It would seem perhaps it was on the corner exit of the final corner. A-Team Ghost, another little lockup. You know, Tazio's really starting to pull away from them, despite the fact that the Alpha doesn't have a straight line advantage. Mind you, the straight line advantage cars tend to be better towards the end of the lap, where it's more full throttle sections, whereas the start of the lap is quite technical. Through the S's they go. Still, A-Team Ghost lost a fair bit of time, and Tazio purple in sector 2. So they're actually looking quite strong at this point. They currently have the fastest lap of the race. They're going to try and better it here. Someone else has gone into the pit lane outside the top 8. I think it's going to be close. Not quite. They lost a little bit of time in that final sector. It was Iverslov now coming into the pits. Gonna see how the Honda team's pit stop goes. Smoothly enough. How much fuel is going into that car? That should just about be enough. They're gonna rejoin behind Real Scorpions. You just think a few leaders less, they might have been able to get out ahead or side by side, but never mind. They're just gonna have to make the best of their situation. Of course, they are on fresher rubber than Real Scorpions, I believe. Yep, around the same on fuel, so that seems to be the right strategy call. A-Team Ghost still being chased by Hobbsy. They've got him tied to a piece of string at the moment. Or tied on by a piece of string, rather, as the phrase goes. Not letting him get away. The outside of slipstream range just about gets inside that 1.3 second gap. Because it might be different with Group 4 cars based on the slightly lower aero capabilities compared to some other category cars, such as Group 3s and Group 2s and such. Nevertheless, it's making a bit of a difference. A lot more mechanical based grip generated by these machines, as that's quite a decent first sector, I'd say, from Hobbsy. They gained a little bit of time. The Ferrari seems to gain it back on the straight. Someone has got that corner quite wrong. Not sure who it was. I'm going to be looking into that shortly. Who was around that area? Was it Maru? They're on racing hard. Gonna have a look. Someone just went plowing straight on, I think. I think it may have been Maru, yep. Just a bit of a understeer moment, a bit of a slide coming back on. Kept it out the wall. It seems that RPM has managed to extend their gap between themselves and Tombak. It is continuing to go up at the moment, so it's still a Citroen 1-2, Lamborghini 3. RPM will have a little bit of penalty to still serve, as the battle for 4th is back on. Tazio down the inside. Heisenberg are going to try and get a cutback here. Side by side they go up towards the S's. Tazio will have the inside line.com. That Bugatti, its tyres surely will be wearing out a bit more now, and oh, very wide indeed over the grass. That might be an extra penalty to the one they already got. Yep, they've gone for the mediums anyway for better tyre life. Although I'm not 100% sure if it's actually mandatory to change compound. If that's the case, Tazio may have gone from soft to soft. Again, I might be wrong on that. Hobbsy has actually managed to get up into 6th, so let's see if we can find where that happened. Bit of a mistake from 18 Ghost on exit there. Must have happened a bit earlier on in the lap, but that puts that purple NSX into the top 6. So it must have been a mistake or something on 18 Ghost's part for that to happen. The gap was increasing before that, as Tazio has really increased the gap over Heisenberger now. The tyres really starting to give up on that car. Of course, more worn, worse compound. It can be difficult to keep up with that Alfa Romeo, even with the straight line advantage. Here we see Molke, our race leader, about to lap Leinard, the other Ferrari. Oh, just runs a bit wide. That might be a penalty unless they lifted, as someone else has just gone off. Indeed, it is a penalty. Just scrolling through. It might have been Basalvo or Racing Pro, possibly. We're about to see. It was coming up through here, and I think it was a bit of a twitch, and it was actually a Racing Pro then, so they went into the wall, didn't pick up damage. Damage might not be on for this race, so a lot of cases we've just not seen them go into the wall, so that could also be the case. Hello to David Johnston in chat, by the way, supporting your driver Molke. He's got a 0.5 second penalty at the moment just for running a bit wide, but he's got a 12-second lead, so nothing to worry about for him at the moment. It's on the second to last lap of the race. Things are looking very good for the Citroen team, though both of them do have penalties. Tombak in 3rd. They've been quite impressive. Tazio in 4th as well, so they've actually been having quite a solid race. A lot of good battles throughout the upper end of proceedings, as well as midfield. Things seeming to calm down a little bit now as we are into the final 1.5 laps pretty much. Heisenberger really just continuing to lose time. The tyres are absolutely shot on that Bugatti Veyron. Hobbsy gonna try their best to hold on for 6th place. 18 Ghost still right there, as Ivaslov laps Maru. That was the close bit of action on track there. In 9th there you see Real Scorpion, so they're 6.4 seconds behind Ivaslov at the moment. So if something goes wrong for Ivaslov, not that I want to jinx it for them, I very nearly did, as I saw someone go very sideways on the track map through the S's and recover it though. As someone's gone off at the S's there. I'm not sure who that was. Oh, bother. My apologies, I seem to have missed it. But here it is anyway, Mulkey. It is going to be making his way round the final corner. It's going to be an impressive 13-second lead for them. And it's going to be them taking the win here at Lago Maggiore East. Congratulations to them, a fantastic drive. It's going to be their teammate RPM coming across the line to take 2nd place, so a Citroen 1-2. Here you see Tombok coming across the line in 3rd. Impressive stuff for them as well. Tazio in that Alfa Romeo, another solid result for them. They take 5th. Heisenberger, or rather they take 4th. Heisenberger will be taking 5th in that Bugatti Veyron. Hobbsy will indeed hold on to 6th after making an overtake on 18 Ghost. 18 Ghost has to settle for 7th on that occasion. Here we are about to see Ivaslov, the Dutchman, making their way down in the other Honda NSX. They take 8th. Real Scorpions, as we're seeing a formation finish for the Porsche. That's gonna look nice on camera for them, for the photo booth. The Real Scorpions finishing in 9th. The Salvo will be the last one to finish on the lead lap in 10th place. The other Bugatti, across the line they come. It was Leinert in 11th, it was Maru in 12th, and Racing Pro in 13th. But again, congratulations to our race winner here today. Mulkey from pole, didn't get in any scraps, so it didn't lose him any time. And as everyone else fought away, they continued to drive off into the distance. A very controlled, measured performance by them. Fantastic result. Speaking of results, there you go. It was RPM who actually had the fastest lap of the race in the end. It was a 1:23.243. That's very close to the qualifying time for pole position actually, but again it may have been on lower fuel. So Tazio, we actually saw, did have that for quite a while, but in the end it was beaten by the Citroen, so Citroen's looking extremely strong once again. Of course it's going to be affecting the team's championship for them quite nicely indeed. Not too strong of a showing for the Bugattis. They seem to really struggle with tyre wear. Basalvo not really getting out of 10th where they qualified, and Heisenberger really struggling in the first stint, especially on the softs. but they finished 5th in the end, as we say. Nice to also see Hobbsy managed to get into the top 6 as well. Of course, good scrap with them and A-Team Ghost in strategy calls and such. It's been fantastic race. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I certainly have. Hello to I'm gonna pronounce it as Gaetano Filiti. Probably mispronounced that again, my apologies. I am useless at pronunciations. David Johnston, Mulkey, congratulations, you're in chat as well. And Ryan Martin there as well with the hashtag Team Citroen Scotland. That's gonna really look good on his championship resume, isn't it? Well, again, I hope you've all enjoyed the stream. If you have, of course, feel free to leave a like on it, subscribe if you haven't already, to catch up with all the latest action from the World Racing League, and hopefully, if I'm not ill, I should hopefully see you next week. So until then, I've been Zokio, your commentator for WRL, and here from Lago Maggiore in Italy, it's goodbye from us.